Awesome.
Just going to get Chloe to double check the stream that we can both be heard. There's been a few issues with that.
Let me know when you want the mighty introduction.
Yeah, we can both be heard.
Fantastic.
So I believe we're just waiting for the tier 3 guys to ready up now.
Looking forward to it. I'm excited. If this race is anything to go on based on what tier 1 and 2 did, it's going to be pretty special. Tier 3 always throws out good racing.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing. It's a short track, but there's plenty of overtaking opportunities. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think what I hated most was that turn 1 was just so hard to nail. But other than that, it's quite an enjoyable track. You know, you have a lot of DRS zones, a lot of overtaking possibilities. So let's just see what happens.
I found that traffic were quite bad in qualifying, which you wouldn't expect from a track like this. It's so many straight lines that traffic could be a problem, but turn 1 seems to be difficult when it's congested, and turn 1, lap 1, that's going to be quite special and quite exciting to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tier 3, I always enjoy watching Tier 3's races. They're like the party tier. They make it happen. Fireworks.
I'm just
pretty quick guys.
Sorry, Josh. I'm just gonna get this stream and pop it into the YouTube channel. Most importantly, anyway, is we can both be heard. So
yeah, that's the main thing.
It's our first time doing comms together as well. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Don't tell Clay that I told you, but I think you're a bit better than Clay. Oh, who said that? I didn't say that. I didn't say nothing.
Look, it's a world of adapting abilities, shall we say?
Yeah.
So we are live. Yeah.
Here we go. 3 seconds, 2, 1. It's time.
I apologise in advance because I'm normally not the one who's in control of the stream, so I'll do my best.
Well, I'll be going through as well. I'll tell you if there's any action happening, and you can flick to the guy that I'm watching. And
yeah, absolutely. And I to others in the past, if fellas are willing to give up their free time for comms, you know, these fellas do their best.
Well, it's like that in real life as well. You've got marshals that give up their free time, and they give up weekends and they come to the track without getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
They put themselves at risk, and we're doing it because we enjoy it.
And we also put ourselves at risk.
Yeah, we put ourselves at risk of judgment. Now, tier 3 are alright. They're not very judgmental.
Yeah, they're a good bunch. Solid
but
bunch.
It is worth saying we'll have all tiers equally. We're all proud of you all.
I need to adjust my volume because it is far too loud.
This is the most difficult part, is the calm before the storm, wondering what to say, and yeah,
predictions. Paul, start with Paul.
That's going to be a tricky one. I mean, I guess I don't know, because I can't remember who was showing pace last race as well. It's definitely form dominated. So my money's on, if you did a good showing last race, you're going to be in with a good shout this race.
Yeah, my pick for Paul is Warrior Huntsman. He's had a lot of bad luck when it comes to the race so far this season. Like, he's been well up there in Q3, top 2 or 3, but he's still kind of midway down the driver's standings. He's had a lot of bad luck when it comes to the race itself, so he's hoping for a bit of to start to come back at the midpoint of season 2, hopefully.
Hopefully there's enough time left for him. I do recall Ninja and Hound as well. I touted them for a comeback drive last race, and one of them completed it and the other one half completed it and just got hit with a bit of bad luck, but I think those guys, they're going to be, in good stead, shall we say, to get a good result here. Ninja's on an upward trend, and Hound's learning more and more every day about how quick he can go. So anything can happen.
I'm just going to pull up the stream there as well for comments. I'm actually on board with Warrior Huntsman there, and always.
Here we go then, let's see what he can do. He's not going to be pushing too hard at this point, but he does want to get out of Q1, definitely. He knows he can do it. Yeah, he took turn 1 pretty well.
Yeah,
nice and tidy. No wheel spin, from what I could see, but this turn 3, this is the real test.
It is. Yeah. It's a tough one. Brake early or brake late, and you're in trouble. You really need to be on point.
Seems to have nailed it that time, though. So it's pretty much sorted. As long as he keeps it within track limits for the final sector and a half.
Yeah, I suppose what I saw Friday night was the last 2 turns were where people were losing it most in terms of track limits.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to the predictions, I think a dark horse. Oh, Warrior Huntsman takes a spin. Oh, he's got away very lucky there. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Is he out?
He lives to fight another day.
At least he'll get back on.
So what I was saying is that Osso Bosso, he's a dark horse. I reckon the experience that he gained on Friday. I believe he raced Tier 1, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't do too badly. He didn't get dominated. He did quite well. He held his own for a long time. So he's already got experience. It's more experience than a lot of these guys have got these cars on this track. So I reckon he's a dark horse. As we see Warrior Huntsman go back into the pit lane, no chance he's going to get a lap now.
I'm just on board with Paranoid at the moment, who is on his flyer. Yeah, we just kind of seen there from Huntsman again. He just has these little. He took too much of that curb on the left, but so you have Reggie Starr out in early pace setter at a 105.1, who was just beaten by Richie D at a 105 dead, and Paranoid is coming in the last corner.
We can get into the mid 1 minute 4s at least. You never know, you might even see a surprise with a 103.9 maybe.
I would think so, yeah. Just on board with Bark now. Ooh, he invalidated. He's possibly on an outlap though.
Batmandu's another one that can do well when he puts his mind to it. I reckon that he could definitely come in the top 5 this race if he tries, and he seems to be committing to it. So, he invalidated his lap.
Just on board with Steve there, though. He's just coming into. He's just in sector 2 at the moment, and he's on a flyer. So we'll stay on board with him. Actually, what I'm going to try and do for this stream is get on board with guys that we don't get on board too much with. Again, obviously it's not done on purpose, it's just the way it rolls sometimes.
Some guys just have a knack of finding action, and a lot of the time when you've got 3 or 4 cars battling, it's the same guys. It tends to happen when you're at a certain pace level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone makes breakthroughs, but you'll always have people that are your sort of pace. And usually it's a set of usual suspects, but we do race very well in Tier 3.
It's a 106.2 from Steve. He's going to have to improve, I would think. Paranoid setting a 104.8 to take the fastest lap so far.
That's a pretty respectable time. Steve's going to have to dig deep. He's going to have to really. He's going to try. He's going to have to try. The 106.2 will not be good enough to get through to Q3. It might not even get him out of Q1 at this rate.
Yeah.
He's got it in him.
Just going to jump on with King of the Hills. He's on an outlap at the moment. He's just starting his flyer there now.
King of the Hills, he's had a quiet season, hasn't he, compared to last season?
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. He's still consistent, but he's not. It's just not happening for him this season for some reason.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher. Maybe he's having a bit of trouble adapting to the physics. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's just not feeling as competitive. I mean, it happens. Form is temporary, but class is permanent. He's got
absolutely.
Class.
And we have to remember, King of the Hills is one of the first 3 ever CDR championship winners as well. So
yeah.
That's a bit of history.
That of him.
No, absolutely not.
And I feel privileged to have actually watched it happen as well. That was France last season, I believe, wasn't it?
He set a purple sector 2 there, but went really wide over the curb. I'm surprised he didn't invalidate there.
He might still be on for a good lap time. Oh,
it looks quick. If he can keep it in, that looks quick.
That curb on the inside next to the pit lane, it's going to catch a few people out. He goes 10th fastest, which is not setting the world alight, but it's good enough. We're going to see a few spins. We're going to see a fair few spins along the curbs. That curb that he just took, going round the pit lane corner, that's going to catch people out. You've got to commit to it or stay away.
I'm just reading on board with mechanical there now, Josh. He's just set a purple sector 1. He's heading up for turn 3 there now. Let's see what he can do. If he can hook this lap up, it would be a surprise bit of pace for Colin, who to be fair to him, has improved dramatically already this season.
Yeah, he's a good guy, he's Colin.
Yeah, and he helps us out with the tier 2 comms as well on Fridays with Dan James. Always appreciated.
Yeah, so he's got a good brain on him. I think a lot of the guys in tier 3, like pretty much all of them, are really likeable guys. Ooh.
How did that not invalidate?
I feel like he may have lost a bit of time there, though. He did have to slow down a little bit.
Still a good time for mechanical, a 105.299.3 call it, but yeah, he lost a lot of time there that last corner.
Yeah, no, definitely. I
think
if you slow down, if you go off the track, if you slow down, it doesn't invalidate, but then obviously you've slowed down, you've lost your lap, haven't you? So you've got to either commit to it or just don't. It's a balancing act.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go, Kane Lowry's on his out lap, about to start his lap. I'll keep you posted. If you're right on board, I might
I'll jump on with Kane Lowry.
So just going through the first corner, clips it nicely, goes a little bit wide, but I think he holds on to it, not invalidated. Now we're going through turn 2 apparently, but it's not really much of a turn in these cars. It's taken a lot of curb.
Dan James with 104.6 there to take pole. Sorry Josh, continue. Continue.
Wow, that's a great time. So it's coming down to turn 4, Kane Lowry. I believe it's turn 4 anyway. I struggled to count past 3. He takes it nicely. He could have gone a little bit closer to the curb, but he still made it round okay. Now the crucial part of the lap, it's these 2 left-handers. If you get it right, you know you've got it right, and he seems to have done alright there.
He has actually. He's taken a tenth out of his time there as well.
So he didn't clip the inside curb. Now it's this curb coming up on the inside, on the right-hander, that you've got to be careful for. Ooh, he gets that nice, and he doesn't run wide either. Wow, this could be a top 5 time, I believe. No, it's 5th. That was
5-1 from Kane Lowry, so
yeah, pretty good.
I suppose it's probably that time near the session where we need to start looking towards maybe P12, 13 down and see who's at risk. While Huntsman still hasn't set a time. Even Prime has 4 laps done and still hasn't set a time. I'm just on board with him there now.
We're going to be catching a few people out. It's just we've seen it in tier 1 and tier 2, but track limits caught. Oh,
he's purple there as well.
Skull Reaper just encountered a bit of traffic on the final 2 corners of his outlap, so that may have hindered him a little bit, but time will tell. He's at a 106.0 at the minute, so he definitely needs to improve to get into Q2.
Prime is going to set a time here. A 105 dead for Evil Prime, so that's him up to P5. That pushes Richie down to P16. So
but look at this. From 4th place to 14th, there's less than half a second. Well, about half a second. That's crazy. This is going to be a very tight race.
That's Huntsman back into the pits again. He's really struggling to set a time here. Just leaving the pits there now again. Himself and Dylan are on outlaps. You have Steve in P18, Skull Reaper P17. Oh no, sorry, Steve's P17 and you've Richie P16. So they're the 5 drivers who are in trouble at the moment.
If I was Steve, I'd be coming into the pits, I'd underfuel it, just the minimum amount. I'd literally go out and full send it. You've got nothing to lose at this point.
I'm going to ride on board with Steve for this. He's actually on a flyer at the moment, just heading out of turn 3. He really needs to get lapping. Although with Austria it is such a short track, at 6.5 minutes left in the session, you would get back in again.
Yeah, he's going to have to, but the question is, does he have any tyres left?
Yeah, he has 3 laps done on this set, so it looks to me like he's done the 3 laps on the same tyre, I would think.
So that may explain his pace. If you set a slow first lap, you're not going to really improve anyway with the tyre degradation.
He's actually backed out of that, I think.
Yeah, he went incredibly wide at one of the corners, so he's done the right thing. Come in under fuel, put new tyres on and go for it.
Jump on with Dylan there now, who's looking to set a time, and he's currently up 2 seconds, which would have him at a 106.1, which still wouldn't be enough, so he still has to find something. He's just heading into the last couple of corners.
There's a few corners to go, and these 2 corners you can definitely make up a lot of time if you hook them up, but he looks like he's got a bit of understeer. It's too late to really dial that out of the car as well with Park for me, so... Wow!
Wow!
Wow, that was...
What a lap!
That was deceptively quick.
Yeah, that didn't look fast, did it? It just pulled it out of nowhere. So that shows King of the Hills now into the danger zone, who is on an outlap.
Maybe we're seeing the first in a long line of champions, or the latest in a long line of champions to have really struggled. Sebastian Vettel struggled after his 4th World Championship, didn't win a race. A lot of drivers, Fernando Alonso, he struggled a few years after his 2nd championship. Senna, after he won his 3rd championship, he struggled. He only won a handful of races in 1992. So
apologies, Josh. Paranoid has commented on the stream, says it's going to rain 30 minutes into the race. So that's a spanner in the works. If that is true, do you go out in the medium and try and hold off? But if it doesn't come or it comes too late, you're in trouble. So yeah, makes for a interesting few decisions.
I think you've got to look at the race strategy still in Q2. You've got to, gamble on it and just assume that the race is going to be dry long enough to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean you're going to want to start in the mediums here, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. And you never know, you're going to get a safety car that could reset the strategy. I personally waited until the 2nd safety car to get off of my mediums, so I did about 12-13 laps, I believe, on them. If you do that, you're winning. I mean, let's ask Lando Norris whether you should pit when it starts raining, but I'm sure he knows.
I'm just on with King of the Hills there, and who's coming around the last corner trying to improve to get out. Yeah, and he does!
That is beautiful.
104.9. Super lap.
Great lap.
I'm actually going to go on with Richie there now, who is on a flyer, and he's trying to get out of the bottom 5 as well. And he's put on a fresh set of soft, so he's going for it. And he's coming into a bit of traffic, so hopefully they stay out of the way.
It could be... Ooh, what happened there? I think a bit of lag happened on mine when it looked like he got a bit sideways, but the slipstream could benefit him, maybe a tiny bit. It's just a little bit difficult to tell because we're a bit jumpy on mine.
Yeah, he was down there, so he's probably going to stay out and he'll get around again, surely.
On return, fish racing afterwards, like it just feels like that sort of track where if you get a good result, it can fill you with a bit of confidence that you need. The tracks we've done previously were, they're really difficult to get a good result on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But we've got some tricky tracks coming up. If I just get the calendar up, I'll tell you about some of the tracks we've got coming up. Bear with me.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm just trying to find someone to jump on with, but they're all mechanical, Teddy Henke, Teabag, they've all invalidated, so I'm going to try and get a lap with Sam Mazden if I can. He's currently in P15, just coming into Sector 3 there now, so I'm going to stay on board with him and see what he can do. At 2 minutes, this is going to be his last chance. 104.
Yeah,
no, he might get around again, but he probably won't have the battery for it.
We are replacing Japan with Britain, I believe, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so next race we're at Britain, but we have got the USA, so we've got Kota and we've got Mexico coming up, and they're both really technical tracks. So,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And round 15 we've got Portugal.
There might be a further tweak to the calendar, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, it's still very much a work in progress.
The tracks won't change, but the order might.
Yeah. So we're seeing Richie. I don't think he's going to be going for an improvement. He's at the side of the track, keeping out of the way of the cars, so that's what you like to see. Like I said at the start, traffic plays a big part, but just like looking on board with Richie 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right, it's like looking at the landscape, the trees and stuff. I feel like Codemasters have done a really good job of capturing the landscape of what would be the Styrian Mountains.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really a picturesque track.
Sam Masden, can he do enough? Sam does enough. He gets up to P12 at the moment, a 105 dead, nearly invalidated on the second to last. So that may or may not be enough. So we'll see. Also, Basso is down in 16. That is surprising. And he's in the pits, so we're going to lose also Basso. Teddy Henke is on a flyer. Richie's coming into the pits, so we're going to lose him. Steve is in the pits, so we're going to lose him, and Skull Reaper. So the only one with an option, a possibility of getting out of Q1 is Teddy Henke. So I'm going to stay on board with him for the last lap.
Yeah, me too. So final couple of corners, let's see. He takes him alright actually, he took that corner alright, and that corner not too bad either actually. So it could be good. Nah, I didn't notice the time at the top, said a 1 minute 9, so he's definitely...
Yeah, this is his flyer. He just got over there, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't invalidate there though.
Absolutely.
Very lucky. It's usually these kinds of laps where, you know, you get so close to getting knocked out and you get over the line with maybe 1 second left, you've got the adrenaline pumping, so you can pull it out of the bag.
I just want to shout out to a couple of guys on the putting in comments. The Hardstyle 25 and Wrong Tim. I was having a conversation with Asso Basso. I can't remember if it was today or yesterday, but they're actually his soccer friends.
Right.
They join in and abuse him nicely.
Well, welcome to CDR, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you like it.
And Teddy Henke has invalidated there, so we are going to lose Skull Reaper, Hole, Richie, Teddy Henke, and also Basso mechanically getting through there by a hair's breadth.
Yeah, he's going to be counting his lucky stars. If that's right saying, innit? Count your lucky stars.
I actually missed Warrior Huntsman. He had 104.8. He got after a lot of laps, so that might compromise him slightly depending on how many sets of tyres he needed to use to get through.
I just can't believe how close it is. Ninja dominated that, but there's 4 tenths separating the top 10, and even further than that, there's 4 tenths separating the top 12. There's 5 tenths separating the top 15. Can you get a picture
of that, the Q3, just in case we need to do a lobby reset? I will be back in 2 minutes. I will leave the stream on with Teabag. If you want to jump on with me, he usually comes out of the pits quick. I'm just get a can of water.
I'm going to blag your heads while Dan gets a can of what might as well be water.
Oh, I walked into that.
So, very interesting first qualifying session. We saw some surprise names doing well. CDR Ninja did an incredible lap time. That is very impressive. He knows the track, he knows his way around a Formula 1 car anyway, and he's a good guy, enjoyable to talk to. Warrior Huntsman putting it together in the end and getting through on a 1 minute 4.8. Let's just see who we lost real quick. So we lost also Bosso, who I touted for a good result, and didn't get a good result in qualifying, but it's a long race. We've got Teddy Henke, we've got Richie 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, CDR Elite Hound, and Skull Reaper 945, who's just been announced in the Mercedes today, getting knocked out of qualifying 1. So we're down to 15 cars and 5 cars to be eliminated in qualifying 2. So let's just wait for the action to begin again. Having raced here on Friday, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Last season it wasn't so enjoyable, it just felt more tedious than anything, but this season it feels like you can overtake a lot better, even though you've got less downforce and the tyres are handling a little bit differently. if you get that setup nailed and you get a good race setup, you can really take advantage of it. And it just, I mean, it came together for me, and it'll come together for one of these lucky guys. Still not sure about who we could see on the podium. I'd hope to see a Ferrari, but maybe I'm biased because I'm a Ferrari driver in C1. But maybe I just like Ferrari, who knows. But we could really, I get the feeling, like I said to Dan, that it's a track where your form can reset. I feel like we could see some fortunes changing at this track, so if you've been struggling so far this season, all you need to do is get a good result and you can be straight back in it. So T-Bag has gone out, so well predicted from Dan. Got a ride on board with him on his outlap. Got to take it, so he's gone out on medium, so that's quite telling him what he wants his race strategy to be. You probably could get away with a one stop on mediums, but two stop is only marginally different in the time it takes. So time will tell, but with the rain that we've got predicted as well, that is going to throw a major spanner in the works. And then it's all about who's just good in the rain, talent wise. Here we go, he's warming up, he's about to get started on his fast lap. Get his lap data up. T-Bag, another one of the guys that, you know, is really good to talk to. Here we go, final corner. Is he going to get a good run? Went a little bit slower than you'd expect, but he got a good exit anyway. So let's see how he handles turn 1. Turn 1 and turn 3 are by far the trickiest. He's run a little bit wide. I don't know if he invalidated there. He's going to keep going anyway, so it says to me he may not have invalidated. But the question is, did it affect his lap time? He took that nicely, didn't get too much wheel spin, and his back end stayed nicely in check. It's all about taking the right amount of curve through turn 3. If you get it nailed, you could really get a good lap time. But Sam Madsen gets disqualified for blocking the pit lane. I wonder what's happened there. Yeah, it really threw me off my rhythm, did that. That's a shame for Sam. Just not a lot we can do, and T-Bag did invalidate. He's just let Reggie Star past. Yeah, we can't ignore the glitches that happen in the game, and we do know that a lot of people are falling foul of them, but you know, us as league racers can't really affect the glitches. We can't fix them, we can't get rid of them, but you know, we can try and power them through them. So T-Bag is going to start a new lap time. The mediums do take a couple of laps to wear in, so you know, that could have actually been beneficial to him. Yeah, he gets it a lot better that time, stays within track limits. This could be the lap that gets him up into the top 10, or lets him stay there rather. But a 1:05.6 on mediums, that's still not too bad. It took a little bit too much curve there, but he can salvage it. Gets a good exit anyway, so that's better than a good entry. Is a good exit. I suppose it's as good as a good entry. Seems to have a little bit of understeer due to the tyres, and it sounds like my commentary colleague Dan is back.
I really need to get a fridge for this room. I have everything else bar a fridge. So
yeah, that'd be luxury. So Sam Madsen got disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
Ooh, he could have. It's actually quite a bit of a right turn there, isn't it? He could have hit the wall by accident.
It's a shame for Sam anyway. You know, if anyone came a cropper of it, it's a shame for them too. But yeah, it's just one of those games, isn't it? T-Bag has just set a 1:05.4 on mediums. He's in the top 7, and that's usually where you're aiming for if you want to stay in the top 10. I mean, top 7, top 5. If you can get through to them, to that stage on mediums, you know, you sort of fancy yourself in Q3.
Just having a look, quite a few interesting tyre choices. Evil Prime has gone for softs with a 1:04.6, which is good for him because he couldn't set a lap in Q1. But with Wire Huntsman gained for odds, Richie looking to start on the mediums. So yeah, I actually got a picture from Steve. It looks to be a dry race. It says it was supposed to be raining for Q1, 2, 3 and the race, but it says plus 60 minutes, so possibly second half wet, so that's going to be interesting.
what, second half of the race?
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah.
That's where, you know, you really show your talent, is how well you can adapt to different conditions. I think Warrior Huntsman could be in the running for a good result here.
Just going to ride on board with Reggie if you want to take it away a lap. He's just starting his flyer.
So, you know the drill by now, coming up to turn 1, you need to get your braking absolutely spot on. Gets it a little bit wide, but the exit's nice, he doesn't take too much curve and it carries the momentum quite well, coming through this shambolic turn 2, or symbolic turn 2 rather, coming up to turn 3. He outbrakes himself slightly, but he does make the apex pretty much and gets a good exit, not too much wheel spin. Now we're coming downhill. This is a very strange corner coming up because it's sort of, the camber's a little bit weird and you need to get your car into it and tuck it in, and you'll find you've got so much more grip, and he seems to have found that camber quite well. So he's coming into the double left-handers. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be struggling too much on the mediums. He's setting okay sector times. Didn't do too badly, so he's coming up to the final 2 corners, and as I've said before and I will say it again, it's imperative that you nail them, and he seems to have got a lot of understeer into that corner, but final corner he does take it quite nicely, so this could be a good lap. It gets him up into 8th place, and now it just remains to be seen who jumps first and goes on to soft tyres, but I think he would have to do another lap and improve on a 105.3.
Yeah, it's quite, he's on the cusp there. Like, if you're coming over a medium, to be safe, you really want to be top 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, without a doubt. Because you will get guys that are in the bottom 10 thinking sod it and putting the soft tyres on and just pushing, and you can really get knocked out of Q2 quite easily. It's happened to all of us at one point.
Just going to ride on board with Barkman Do. He's starting his flyer. We haven't really seen much of Bark yet. One of the guys who runs no TC in Tier 3. That looked fairly tasty there, actually. That did.
Yeah. His car looked quite planted. It didn't do too badly. This is the term that's really struggled on traction because it's sort of bumpy in it on exit, and it's just difficult to get your car settled. But nah, he seems to be doing all right. To finish first, you must first finish, and as long as he keeps it neat and tidy in race, he could get a good result. I am impressed by what I've been seeing from a lot of these drivers, especially around Austria. They seem to be getting a good handle on the track and getting the corners all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? Tier 3 is one of them tiers that, you know, the first race or 2, we've had a lot of incidents, but to be fair to the guys, it's really backed off in the last couple of weeks, and anything that is reported is just good, clean racing where somebody maybe makes a little mistake or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. So Batman do goes 12.
Yeah, he's going to have to drop the softs, I would think.
Yeah, no, he's got 6 minutes left, so ideally get back to pits, put softs on and just go for it. You can still salvage a good race result even if you start on the softs, so it just depends on where you start.
Just out with Guitar Maniac, he's on a flyer heading into the last couple of corners. Guitar is a funny dude. He tends to do 85% of the race on a set of mediums. So
he's either really good at nursing his tyres or really bad at tyre strategy.
105.2, he's going to be on the cusp if the guys drop the softs.
Teabag's coming out on softs. It's sort of fancy him to get him through to Q3.
Yeah.
So, you know, you really don't want to be on the cusp at the minute. You want to be further up into the top 10 on the mediums. It's heartbreaking when you go out on mediums and you're not fast enough. So you think, screw it. You put your softs on, you go out and you only qualify P9 and then through to Q3.
I'm just going to run. I'm actually on board with Kane Lowry at the moment, Josh. He just said a purple sector 1. Considering that we have guys, he's on the mediums and we have guys on softs, that if he can hook this lap up, he will absolutely get through on his mediums. But will he get provisional pole in Q2? I would think so. But let's see what he does.
Something I've noticed seeing on board Kane Lowry, and you know, it's obvious he's a wheel user. He has a lot of understeer, but he seems to make it work a lot of the time. I mean, as I say, that he gets oversteer, but he seems to be one of the drivers that uses understeer to his advantage. Jenson Button used to do that, preferred a car that understeered. You know, when you've got the other end of the spectrum, you've got Hamilton that prefers an oversteery car. But it all comes down to whether you can make the characteristics work for you.
Can I just point out that we have in and around a second between P1 and P14? And you know what? That's a credit to the so-called slower guys, because we all know that the top 4 or 5 drivers here are capable of racing in tier 2 at least. Yeah. So that's a credit to the guys behind who are, and that's what I've said. When you have faster guys ahead of you, that's the aim. Close the gap, improve yourself, practice. And it's very evident who's putting in practice. You've Reggie again up in P2, a 104.9 on mediums. I don't think I did that impressive. In Q2. Do you know what I mean? It's just a testament. Ninja again, yeah. It's just a testament to the guys. It's very obvious that there's a lot of practice going in, which is good to see.
I feel like tier 3 has become the tier 2.5. You can't justify calling it tier 3 anymore, because you know these guys, they're knocking on the door at tier 2's times. I mean, what was the pole time, if you remember, in tier 2?
I set a 104. I'm gonna say 5 or 3. It was maybe something like that. I picked Adam just at the end.
And we've got a 104.6 in Q2. I might add, so track evolution's not even fully evolved yet, and we've got a 104.6 already, and we've not even got a massive gap behind them after that. We've got 7/10 covering.
We've got to run a ball with Mechanical there now, who's just starting to fly around softs. We haven't seen much of him yet. Or did he just set a lap? Did he just set a lap? No, he don't know. He's just on a flyer.
So let's see if he can make it happen. We'll stay on board with him. I'm not going to commentate over the lap. You've heard me do it 3 times now, so you've already got me in your head telling you, talking you through it. But he seems to have struggled on the exit of that corner. His car wasn't quite pointing where he wanted it to be pointing. Let's see if it can salvage it, though. You really get the feeling that he needs to make it happen this lap, otherwise it could be curtains for his qualifying session.
Yeah, you would think so.
The thing is, with the field spreads as tight as it is, even if you go out in Q2, you've still got sort of an advantage, because you get fresh tyres and you get the tyre choice as well.
Yeah, well, do you know what? That is the thing. We have seen race pace and quali pace. Sometimes they don't match up, so it will be interesting. It doesn't look. I think he'll do enough here. We'll see.
He's got time for another lap. Yeah, he can't come back into the pits. He's got to nail it.
Yeah. So who is on the cusp? T-Bag is in the pits, so he's going to be wanting to jump out late. You have King of the Hills and Barkman Do, who are currently long. We'll run on with King of the Hills. I don't think we've seen too much King of the Hills yet.
Kane Lowry and Gameful have gone out to try and protect.
King of the Hills just invalidates. Not sure if he'll have enough battery to get another lap in, but we'll see. We'll stay on with Bark now, who's in P14.
T-Bag's retired, so he's sort of he's accepted.
I think Bark is on a lap here. He has a green sector 1, a purple sector 2, just coming into the last couple of corners, all over the curve there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he committed to that. That was impressive.
Does he have enough fuel?
A good lap time. Nice. He's in P8.
105 dead. Is that enough? Who is behind him? Kane Lowry's in the pits.
Yep, Kane Lowry's not going to improve. We've got Gameful on that lap, so he's just starting his lap. I sort of reckon he could improve.
Yeah, we're right on board with Gameful. I don't think we've seen too much of Gameful in this quality so far.
Yeah, Gameful knows what he's on about when he's talking about what happens on track. He's certainly got a well-formed opinion, so he knows what to do and when he needs to do it. It's just a different matter in it when it comes to actually getting it done. Sometimes you've got pressure that's playing a part, and sometimes you just can't hook it up for whatever reason. But he seems to be getting it nicely. He's taking right amount of curb, and he's aggressive enough, which that's what you need in quality. It's aggression.
Yeah, we have seen it with particularly the guys that are running no TC. You got Kane Lowry, Gainful, and Barkman do in particular. They have been quick and quality, but they have had issues in races. Oh, how did that not invalidate?
He got away by the skin of his teeth. Then I think he did invalidate. Oh no, I know what he's done. He knows that he's not gonna need to get a better lap in, so he's backed off right at the end. So he doesn't.
Yeah, I just needed to pause the stream a second. Richie disconnected, so just sent him another invite there. So yeah, so I think there's nobody out on the lap anymore. It's that is it, I would think.
Yep, session's over.
Session's over. So we've lost Richie D, Teabag, Mechanical, King of the Hills. That's a surprise. And Sam Madsen.
It is a shame for Sam. It's a big shame for Sam. He never really got an opportunity to see if he can get through. He never set a lap.
So yeah, I'll just run through the tires. So you got Evil Prime, CDR Ninja, Dan James, Paranoid, Barkman Do starting on the softs. We got Huntsman, Reggie Star, Dylan, Guitar Mania, Kane Lowry and Gainful Odds starting on the mediums, more or less followed by mediums behind them. So there is a lot. If you look at where they're placed as well, the start is going to be interesting. You'd expect them guys on the softs to get if they can hook up a start, they'll be putting pressure into turn one. So let's just hope it's not 7 wide trying to go into turn one here, because it can be a bit it is one of those tracks, isn't it, with the short run in. And
looking at how tight the field is, I mean, it blows my mind every time I see it. I think we could be looking at 20 wide going into turn one at this rate.
It certainly makes for an interesting race, and the weather is going to play a big part. If someone can you'd imagine if it does rain and someone can nail the strategy, ooh, we got a wet Q3. That's interesting.
So we're getting a taste of it. Who can handle it?
Looks probably intermediates, I would think.
I think every F1 fan sort of dreams about getting the decision right.
No, they're actually out on slicks.
Alright, so this could be tricky.
Maybe it might be getting heavier in the session, so they're all coming out now, so they might want to be just trying to get a lap in before this gets too heavy. Quite possibly. You
got nothing to lose anyway.
So
get everything to gain if you can get a lap on the softs rather. Dylan has got the advantage because he's the first one out. So
it's actually Reggie has the track position.
Alright.
Reggie's out first. I'm on board with Reggie. We might as well stay on with him if he's first, and I can drop back then as they cross the line. He got Evil Prime staying in the pits, which is strange.
Yeah, that is. He's missed a beat there, missed a trick.
Unless it's not getting heavier, he is one that likes to stay in. So let's see what happens.
Even then, I don't think there's much to gain from staying in. I feel like you want to get out first and just have the driest track, because it's not going to get any drier, it's going to get wetter. Oh yeah,
to be honest with you, it's coming down. I wonder will they get a soft lap in?
This is going to be very interesting. Did he invalidate there?
No, I have no idea how he didn't invalidate or hit the wall.
He took an absolute liberty with that.
He took a lot of curve there.
Oh, he's surprising me with how confident he is on the brakes. There might be more grip out there than it looks. These drivers know more than we do.
Absolutely,
this could be a very inspired Q3 for Reggie.
Evil Prime out of the pits there now as well.
He seems to be finding grip. As I said, this could be an inspired move. He got out there first, and it could just mean pole if we can get it done right.
I'm surprised. That looks wet.
To me, it looks like the rain. I can't tell whether it's getting faster or getting slower.
It looks to be getting a bit quicker, a bit faster. Yeah, and that's a 106.8, so Guitar Mania 106.5. It's definitely a wet track, 100%. That's Ninja crossing the line there now with a 107.5.
We could have a short Q3.
Apparently with a 107.5. So yeah, it's definitely getting wet there, no doubt.
So the guy I want to watch is Evil Prime because he came out last.
He's going to struggle.
He can make it work.
I think he's going to struggle, Josh. If you look at the times that are being set, they're 2, if not 3 seconds off the pace. Yeah, whoa! Kane Lowry has had a massive incident. I have no idea. It looks like he just bended at turn 1. He's across the track, missing a front right wheel. So yeah, that was a massive one. That was a massive one. I'm going to jump on with Evil Prime. I'm very animated, if you haven't figured out.
He's got a good way of conveying emotion.
Yeah, if you hear a noise, we're in trouble. Evil Prime coming into the last. Prime coming into the last couple of corners doesn't look overly slow. Maybe 3 seconds down. I think it's about a mid.
Yeah,
he made a mistake. He made a big mistake. He should have come out straight away.
Yeah.
And you'd imagine at this stage that is going to be our starting grid. You would think.
Yeah, you're not going to improve on a 106.5.
No, absolutely not.
This is what we were saying though. You've got nothing to lose by going out first, but everything to gain.
Yeah.
I feel like, in these guys, they might want to go out and try and improve, but it's obvious that they're not going to improve. We may see everyone retire and the race starts a bit earlier.
Yeah, so speaking of which, I'm going to go grab another can of water.
Oh, you beat me to it.
You have Guitar Maniac is going to be nicely placed there now, starting on the mediums, but I'm just going to jump and get that just in case they do retire, so you have 2 retired already. Alright, won't be long.
So Dan's going to get his special water. As I said, I don't think we're going to see any more action on track. Unless you see someone go out on the ints just to explore and see what it feels like, because by all accounts we are going to get a bit of rain.
Sorry Josh, I'm not gone yet. I'm on board with Dylan, who has actually gone back out in the softs again. Had a bit of a spin out of the pits. If you want to jump on board with him.
Yep, yeah, I'm riding on board now. Let's see what he can do. Some people just like to race some damp circuit when you've got softs on it. It can be quite fun if you've got a wheel. It's like Tokyo Drift but in F1 cars, and there's nothing more fun than drifting in an F1 car. Yeah, it is purely exploratory. There's no benefit, no gain that he can find. I'd be very surprised if he makes any sort of progress on his flying lap. But you never know. You never know. Crazier things have happened in F1. The RS has now been disabled, so that's confirmation that it is officially wet weather now. But the race start is dry by all accounts, which makes it very interesting. So he's coming round the final corner to start his flying lap. Let's see what he can do. Turn 1, I suppose it's going to be a symbolic commentary as this, because there's nothing really, unless he spins, there's nothing. Yeah, and see, there we go, straight away he's spun. It's tricky, very tricky. You've got all the downforce in the world, but you haven't got the mechanical grip, and that's responsible for a lot of the lap time. That's why these beefier tyres are a lot better. Oh, and Dylan's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. That's a glitch. That's a massive shame. So he was only trying to turn his car around. That's a shame for Dylan. But that may be what happened to Sam as well in Q2. That may be what happened. So we see Dylan going to the side. The thing is, he did set a lap time, so if that's going to start him 10th now, that's going to be a big shame. But we are seeing a lot of cars going out. I don't think we're going to improve on mediums, but I'd be pleasantly surprised if they did. You never know. I mean, like I said, these drivers know better about what the track feels like. They know more than we do. cars do seem to have a little bit more grip on the Inters. We've got Paranoid riding on board with him. Gameful is out on Inters, Huntsman's out on Inters, and Evil Prime's out on Inters, so if they do end up going quicker, as Paranoid runs incredibly wide at the final corner, if they do seem to improve, then the top three that have stayed in the pits will be kicking themselves. Personally, I think the top three have made the right call by staying in. We've got nothing to gain, and Batmandu's actually retired, so he's pretty confident that he's going to stay where he is. Yeah, that's the thing with rain. If you don't act fast, even if the track's a little bit damp, you're always going to be faster on soft tyres than Inters. It's when the track starts to get increasingly wet that you're going to have more of an advantage on Inters. But even then, you're never going to be as fast as slick times. So it's that balancing act. It's finding the right time to go out, and more often than not, the first car out has the advantage if it can hook a lap up, because the track will never be as dry as it is for them. Yeah, seems to be struggling, Paranoid, and I'm willing to bet Gameful's right up behind him, so maybe Paranoid struggled a little bit more than Gameful, because Gameful seems to have caught him, both racing for Alpines, so they really do want to get a good result for the constructors, but Gameful runs wide as well on the final corner. That's a 1:17.8, so yeah, it's just no gain, is there? There's no progress being made, and these are literally just exploration laps, and Gameful nearly loses it and buries it in the barrier on the first corner. That's where Dylan Gaming lost it as well, and that was a big spin. And from what I can hear, Kane Lowry as well lost it on the stick turn one, so that's going to cause a few issues from race time. I hope we can all get through it cleanly though. If we can all get through it cleanly, then it's anyone's race. It's just one of those tracks with the slipstream as well playing a part. You know, a lot can happen. You want to be well placed, it's all about placement. Sometimes pole position is not the most advantageous position. Sorry, I'm butchering my words now. Yorkshiremen probably aren't built for doing commentary. Murray Walker was from Birmingham, so he had the advantage. But I'm hearing noises on the other end, so maybe my colleague Dan is back. Yeah, Evil Prime just getting oversteers everywhere. Track's getting increasingly wet. He's even invalidated, so we've seen all the action that we're going to get in qualifying now.
I'm surprised that they have went back out. Has anyone actually gained a position?
No, Dylan span out at turn 1 and got disqualified for blocking pit lane, so perhaps that's what happened with Sam.
Yeah.
It was on the grass as well, so it's even harsher.
It's going to be interesting to see.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go get a drink and sort myself out, so I'm going to leave you in the company of my colleague Dan, so you can blag your heads for a bit.
So it'd be interesting if there's anyone in the pits. Could you get and listening to the stream? Could you get a picture of the weather forecast for the race and send it into the chat or into the tier chat or the stream? Just give us a better idea. You have Paranoid coming around the last corner, and he's not going to improve from there. Checking the Discord. Did anyone update us? Nope. So we don't know what the weather forecast is for the race, but it could be a wet start. Trusty Hound. Yeah, it quite possibly could be starting the race in the wet. So let's see what happens. If we do get rain mid-race or at some point during the race, it's really going to come down to Yeah, I was just saying there, Josh. Steve has sent me a picture of the weather again, and it hasn't changed. So it's strange because it gave rain for Q1 and 2, and we got it in Q3. So yeah, it's interesting. I feel it's going to be a wet start. I might be wrong, but I think it's going to be a wet start.
We've got the makings of a classic. I'm glad we've caught it on the stream. This could be a classic race. Hopefully, anyway. If they can all keep it neat and tidy, then we could see some real action.
So the starting order for the top 10 is Guitar Maniac, Reggie Starr, Bachman Do, Dan James, Paranoid, Damien, Warrior Huntsman, Evil Prime, Kane Lowry, and Dylan. So yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Who do you think is going to win the race?
Oh, well, you would say Guitar Maniac is in absolute prime position starting on the mediums, but it's so changeable. We don't know, is it going to start wet, is it going to get wet middle, are people going to try and hang on to go straight to the inters and save or even the wets to save a pit stop? It's impossible to say with the weather. It's impossible.
I think my outside is like my outside shot. I'd tout Ninja. He's been on an upward trend recently, and he's quite confident. I believe he got a podium last race, or he came quite well last race. He knows he can do it. It's starting
we
dry
have
as well,
dry start, and it said rain plus 60 minutes from the start of Q1, so that would give you rain roughly 20 minutes into the race, which is probably, for the medium runners, assuming there's no safety car, that is your pit stop timing, kind of 20 minutes in, maybe more.
Oh, is it real time? Because I thought it was in-game time, so obviously a day's passed since qualifying. I'm probably going to sound stupid, but I thought it was like 60 minutes on the Saturday and then
yeah,
Sunday,
actually,
so.
Yeah, you might be right there. You might be right. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, we don't have Jeff to talk to. It's really, and I've spoken about this before. Like, the comms guys really should be able to see the forecast in this, and we should be able to pick the helicopter view as well.
Yeah, I think there is a graphic that pops up with some sort of weather forecast, I believe. I know they do it for tyre strategy, don't they? So
yeah, the tyre strategy does. I don't think the weather does, but we can have a look for sure. Just going to get the stream back up again.
The actual calm before the storm formation lap. So we know how these drivers are going to be feeling, especially the top three.
Yeah,
they're going to be tense. I wouldn't like to be on pole going into this turn 1 at Austria. I wouldn't want to be on pole. Remember to ride on board with someone a bit lower down at the race start, so it keeps it in view for longer.
Yeah.
So we get to see all the action. I'd imagine Guitar Maniac, he'll get through it safely. And you see the pit stop strategy, it's predicting a 2-stop for both strategies. Interestingly.
I actually didn't get that for some reason.
Yeah, it predicted a 2-stop, but the hard tyres involved in one of the strategies, but both strategies were a 2-stop, so that's going to be interesting to see if anyone tries to stretch it out to a 1-stop.
Yeah, I did a lot of testing before this, and if there is no safety car, a 2-stop is quicker. If you get a safety car, it's a 1-stop. So that's why I think the medium runners, you know, if you're going to get a safety car, it's probably going to be in the first 5, 6, 7 laps anyway. So I'm going to ride on board with Ninja here. He's in P4, so
yeah,
that could get us a view. I hate the way it always starts with a rear view initially, as the grid is just forming up now.
Do you want the honours of doing the race start, or
no?
Want me to take it?
I think you're. It normally just ends up with me screaming if something happens, so work away. you could be liable for the old whoa. So yeah,
we never get that on Sky F1.
Yeah, you can be crafty. I'll just sit in the background a while.
Here we go then, final cars lining up on the grid. we're nervous sat up here and they're nervous sat down there. I think every F1 fan gets nervous at the race start, doesn't matter who you're supporting. But here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and in the wise words of Crofty, it's lights out and away we go. They all get away pretty well. Ninja gets a bad start, he's lost a place, he's down to 5th.
No!
There's a couple of cars and Ninja's been caught up with it.
That is carnage.
Looks like Evil Prime came across the game for odds as well, and Ninja got collected. It's a shame for Ninja, so they're going to really struggle. They've got to start coming into damage control and making it happen. Or was it Hound? Was it Hound that got caught up in it? It was definitely a Ferrari there.
So yeah, again for Evil Prime and Ninja, they're down. It looked to me an Aston Martin could have been possibly the cause of that. Do we have a safety car? No.
No safety car, and I don't know if Ninja's got wing damage, I can't tell. It doesn't look like it, so he's come away from that very lucky. He might have side pod damage.
I think it was actually mechanical. I'm not sure he had both of his end plates, so maybe not.
Mechanical looks to be alright, he's pulling off a couple of feisty passes. T-Bag's struggling a little bit, he's dropping right back, so it might have been him involved in it. Oh, he gets a little bit dangerous with Ninja there, but Ninja stayed around the inside and he's gone up and back into 11th place. So yeah, it seems to be a really strange dynamic at the minute. Cars are going slow where they need to go fast, and cars are going fast where they need to go slow. That's a very tight from Mechanical. He gets put onto the inside going through turn 1 and Ninja makes it stick.
The Tar Maniac is actually down to P5 as well, and you've 3 in the pits now as well, so definitely a bit of damage there.
He had a stinker of an opening lap. Reggie Star in P1 and Paranoid in P2. Batman he's kept it together and he's in P3, but it's looking like P4. So
yeah, Huntsman just going around the outside there to turn 3.
It's good to see Huntsman getting feisty. Like I said, this could be a race that changes his fortunes. He could get a good result, and that's all it takes.
It's kind of hard to know who to jump on with here at the moment because my leaderboard is just glitching away. So
yeah, mine's glitching too. I'm just flicking through and just catching up on what everyone's doing. So we've got Registar in the lead and Paranoid in 2nd place, followed by Warrior Huntsman. Sort of fancy Warrior Huntsman to get a good result. He can catch him, and he's on the medium tyres, as is Registar. So the top 3 are on mediums. So nothing too out of place there. It's going to be a tight battle, that's all I'm saying, especially with Slipstream and ERS.
Yeah, my leaderboard is just fixed itself, so current closest battle is Warrior Huntsman. Barkman just taking Guitar Maniac there for P4. I wonder, is his guitar carrying some sort of damage? His wing looks intact.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell from the TV cameras. He nearly goes into the back of Batman actually, so they seem to be struggling on corner exit, and we seem to be getting, I don't know, wheel spin or just needing to take it slow, because a lot of people are at the slower way and expect them to be quicker.
Guitar is gone.
Oh, that was very lucky.
Did he just drop it, or was there something? I'm not sure.
It looked to me like he might have dropped it on a curb or something, but he span out and he was very narrowly missed out on getting collected then.
Teddy Henke just taking Dan James there. I missed it, but he just got the overtake done there.
Ninja spun, so he's surely got to come into the pits. I believe he's got damage, but we'll see. Yeah,
Teddy's pitting there now as well, so he must have damage. Not exactly sure what happened there.
Dylan has made race pretty much fell in from the top.
Dylan is after making a mighty start. He's up from P10 to P4.
That's a feel-good story. I mean, after the qualifying that he had, he got disqualified.
I'm just going to ride on board him because he took Bark, but Bark is still behind him and he's on the soft. So this is about the closest battle on track at the moment.
So it's been a very hectic opening 4 laps so far. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah,
shame for some people. They've really struggled with some people. And
I'm not 100% sure, but that Aston or the Alpine, I think it was, just seemed to be a bit of an issue there. The turn 1 that took kind of 3, 4, 5 cars out. So
it's definitely, there's going to be some conversations happening in the stewards channel after this.
Yeah. Also Basso with a mighty start up into P7, gaining 9 positions.
This is where Osso's advantage is really going to come into it, because he knows the right strategy to run on.
Dylan with a 3-second time penalty. Seems to be an issue with Dylan. He does seem to pick up a lot of track limit penalties.
Oh, he got a very good move on Batman do there.
Yeah.
Textbook switchback. That was nice.
Bart running wide there, he lost a few positions, I think.
It looks to me, wherever you look on track, they just don't seem to be settling down. There could be a
safety car. Steve is after bidding it. Oh no, he's retired.
Yeah, he's DNF'd.
He has retired.
That's a shame for Steve. Just doesn't seem to be happening for him at the minute, does it?
Oh, Richie's had a bit of a moment. He's stopped on track currently, heading into the pits. No, that was a glitch. He's just coming out of the pits.
There's surely got to be a safety car here with the yellow flags. There's a car going slowly. That's Guitar Maniac, is it? I mean, there's a yellow flag just at the end of Sector 2. It's a green flag now, so there's got to be something setting it off.
Huntsman taking Reggie there on the pit straight.
We don't know where to look. It's just
no! This is exactly what I've been saying. Huntsman,
his winner.
Yeah. Oh God.
Condolences. That's heartbreaking. All it takes is a safety car.
Yeah, he's had a savage run of bad luck, and that's it again. But you know, the thing is with this game, you just don't know with the safety cars, and you have to keep going. You have to keep fighting.
That's a huge shame. I feel for him.
So Basso is now up 11 positions. Sam Mazden behind him in P6, up 9 positions, and they're actually going at it. So I'm going to ride on board with Sam Mazden and see how this plays out. All over the back of Osso Basso, who is on the medium. So Sam, even at lap 6, would probably have the quicker tyre.
I'm going to have a look through the top 5 and just see what the ERS is looking like. Richard E is using a lot of the RS compared to the top 2. I mean, he's on 27% compared to Reggie, who's on 60, and Paranoid, who's on 70. Dylan's on 50, and also Bosso, he's doing quite well. He's on a 70% ERS. We're all using it in the same places, but Richie D is definitely had to utilise it a lot more to get to where he is. But still, that's, you know, it's a respectable place. It's P3 for Richie. He could come away with a good result.
Yeah, Sam just dropping back there now, so I'm actually going to go up to Osso, who is on the back of Dylan, who is on the back of Richie. So we've a bit of a three-way going on here.
We've got Sam Madsen. He qualified P15, didn't he? Because he got disqualified out of Q2.
Yeah.
So up to P6. That's incredible. That's a really good bit of driving from Sam Madsen. He's kept out of trouble, and he's making it happen so far. The top 5, or the top 6 rather, they must be scratching their heads going, what's happening, because they've just found themselves up. They haven't been caught up in incidents, they've just found themselves in prime position.
Yeah, like when you look at it,
could win this.
You have 3 drivers in the bottom 5 who are down 8, 11 and 14 positions, and the top 5 are up 4, 8, 6, 11, 9, you know, so I think that turn 1 had a lot to do with where people are now, but again, we'll see what happens with that. I'm still on board with Dylan, and it's a lovely 3-way battle. Also having a look at him now into turn 3, he's just a bit too far back, and Richie's going to come under pressure here because he's got no DRS.
I do feel like Osso Bosso could really get a result here. He's got a big advantage compared to the other guys.
Yeah, he's looking pacey as well.
He's looking very fighty. He must have had the setup right for the race. I was saying, I think, while you were away getting some of your special water, that if you get a good setup, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a good qualifying setup, but a good race setup, you can get onto the podium.
I have a secret to tell you, it's not.
Oh,
that's Dylan.
Oh no!
He has DNF there. That is going to be a full safety car. It has to be.
Surely. So people's fortunes could be about to change.
Man, here he is. So yeah, he's pits.
Yeah, he'd have got the book thrown at him in real life if he'd have done that. But you know,
why did Dylan's car not ghost? That's my question.
Yeah. That's a big shame.
Very surprised if that's not a full safety car. That has to be a full safety car. He's in the middle of the track.
It's all happening at the minute. This has been a crazy race. I said it was going to be a classic, but I didn't know it was going to be this sort of classic.
No, there is nothing. Teddy Henke just passed. His car is gone, so we're still racing.
Still got yellow flags out though, so that's going to be. I can't tell what's happening with these yellow flags. It seems to be following certain cars and then going away, but I think the game's just making it up as it goes along at the minute. But we've got Ninja.
It's unfortunate for Dylan.
Tied to gain full odds with the rope.
You just seem to catch the curb on the left.
It's a shame. It's easy to do, innit? And just such a tiny thing could mean your race is over. That is a shame for Dylan. He was having a really good race up until that point. Paranoid doing everything he needs to do. He's got quite a gap back to Reggie now. He's got 2.6 seconds, so he's out of the DRS range. So it's his to lose right now. It's Reggie's to win if he can get it together.
Just down with Guitar Maniac, who is currently really on the back of Barkman, who on lap 9 the softs may be starting to go off. Guitar looking to stick it up the inside into turn 3, and he gets the move.
Has got sorry to cut you off there, Dan. Bark's got a fair bit more ERS than Guitar Maniac, but he is on tyres that will be a bit slower now than the mediums.
It's strange to see Guitar Maniac with no ERS. That really hampers your car's performance.
Yeah, it's difficult to regain it around this track. It's such it's one of those tracks that doesn't have such heavy braking, and it has like straights. It's pretty much mostly straights in it, so it's really hard to regain your ERS if you use it up early. You want to really try and space it out across the entire race.
I'm just on board with Gainful now, who is all over the back of Dan, but had a bit of a moment into turn 1. Dan and Gainful choosing the hards, not a tyre I like here. Not in the slightest.
They might be going for the one stop, which is what we need to do now. They can't. The position they're in, they need to do something different.
Yeah, I suppose they're looking at a safety car. If you get a safety car here,
we've just had Evil Prime take a spin at the end of Sector 2. So now the corners after Sector 2, he's just took a spin. So he's lost a couple of positions, and he's got a penalty, and he span out on the final corner as well, so his tyres are cut. Oh, is he out the race? He's still going, but yeah, it's not happening for him at the minute. He's staying out though, but he's going to need to let his tyres cool. It's pretty much terminal for a good result, I'd imagine, for him.
I wouldn't say that, Josh. I had this the other night, maybe around this lap as well. Running in P1, had a spin down to 18, had another spin up to P12, ended up P2. So you just got to keep going with this game. I keep saying it, I keep harping on. You got to keep going and see what happens.
All it takes is one safety car and you're right back in it again.
Bark has just taken Sam Mazden, who has, Sam's in the pits now. He's on a 2-stop. And you got Reggie in the pits. He is also on a 2-stop or has damage. You should get 14 laps out of the mediums.
One thing I did find is the undercut does work around this track. You can, if you time it right, you can undercut 2 people, 3 people.
Yeah. I'm going to run it right on board with Skull Reaper at the moment. That's the closest battle. He's behind Kane Lowry, who's on 9 lap or softs.
Cars seem to be spread out a fair bit. Yeah, I mean, Gameful seems to be tied to Ninja by a rope. You know, you can't get away from each other. They are similar pace to each other.
As I said, they will really be struggling at the end. And Skull Reaper sends it up the in. Oh no, that was Ken Lowry sending it up the inside of Skull Reaper.
No, it was Skull Reaper up the inside.
Yeah. Apologies, I got the cars wrong.
But there was a bit of contact made.
Yeah, there was a bit of tippy tappy there. Let's see.
Yeah, it seems to have settled down a little bit now as this race. There's no one really. Gameful has just got past Ninja. That seems to be.
Ninja just got back ahead again. I'm going to run on with that for another while again. Gameful got past, but Gameful got past, but Ninja got past again. Just going to throw it on with Gameful and see can he squeeze that up any bit. We'll try and run. There is currently no other battles on track, so.
They're both quite experienced as well, so it's like Vettel versus Alonso. Even though Vettel's not in Ferrari anymore, it's sort of like that. They are quite experienced drivers and they've got tricks up the sleeves, so that might be why they keep switching positions, is because they're just outsmarting each other and then switching back and getting them back, and it's impressive.
Yeah, this is. I'm going to stand here for a while, Josh, and see how this plays out. It's strange for such a short track to only have 2 battles going on. So, as I said earlier, it's kind of unfortunate that some people get more airtime than others, but you can't be riding on board by a car that's just kind of going around on his own either, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. So Gameful's going up the inside of Ninja.
He'll make that stick. The DRS is making a huge difference here.
But Ninja, I believe, will have DRS.
He's back at him again, and he got better drive out of turn 3.
They just can't seem to get away from each other, but this is going to be close. Ooh, Gameful goes to squeeze him, but it gives him just enough space and Ninja gets past. But we just can't seem to get
Dan just kind of on the grass slightly, was he?
Yeah, he did go onto the grass, and they're both on the hard tyre as well, so this could be a race-long battle. Oh, Ninja seems to be struggling a little bit. Just needs to chill out, just settle down and start pumping in the laps. Like, you've got to keep it consistent. You're not going to light it up, just keep it consistent and you'll come out on top. But the dirty air is going to really damage his pace through his final couple of corners.
You could probably see a move into turn 3 here. He'd get the DRS. I don't think he'll move into turn 1, but he'll get close if he can get a good drive.
They're both on the same ERS as well, so it's not like one of them has got the advantage over the other. It is simply very equal. It's all about who stays calmest.
I don't think he's close enough here. No, he's... Oh, is he looking?
He's going for it. This is
oh, man! That
got wing damage.
That didn't look good, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, it was just a little bit desperate, wasn't it? Oh, not ideal.
Don't think he got wing damage, but I'm surprised he came from a long ways back there.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I think he got to a point where he just had to commit to it, but we've had an Alfa Romeo spin out as well. It's Eagle Prime again. It's just not happening for him, is it? He's had a few spins now. I just don't. Oh, that was very close. That could have been tragic for a couple of cars.
Okay, I'm going to jump on with Bark again, who is now within DRS of Reggie.
Evil Prime's done a carbon copy of what's happened to him before, where he spins in the final corner. Oh no. Oh, this is tragedy. So he's pitting, Evil Prime is pitting. Don't know what tyres he's going to put on, but I'll ride on board with him while Dan rides on board with someone else. And
Bark is actually in the pits now, so is Richie. That sends Reggie up into P3.
We could just be looking at a slow burner. So Evil Prime's gone onto the mediums again, but it says DNF, so has he retired?
Yeah, he's retired in the pits. Yeah, he's just had a bit of a hard one, I would suspect. I'm on board.
So what happened to Ninja then?
Not sure. He could possibly have wing damage, but he hasn't pitted, so he's now 2.4 seconds behind Gameful, and that gap is increasing.
Yeah.
So I'm on board with Kane Lowry, who is within DRS range of Sam Masden, and he's on fresh mediums, and Sam is more or less on fresh mediums. I'm just thinking again, we're probably maybe 4, 5, 6 laps away from rain, if there is rain. So it doesn't look like it. The sky, the sky. I think we have a dry race.
Yeah. Rain is the only thing that could really bring these guys back together, or a safety car.
Kane Lowry just taking Sam Masden into turn 3, who is looking at him again, but backs out, which was the right thing to do. He wasn't close enough.
Paranoid's driving a commanding race at the minute. He's not made any mistakes, and all he needs to do is just keep it settled and drive away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're the top 2 here, even King of the Hills. They're looking at a one-stopper, so that's around lap 20, 21, 22, depending on what kind of a lap they put in in Q2. So
look at Warrior Huntsman. He's just gone for a move on Osso Bosso for P6. So he's had that spin, but he seems to have come back fighting.
Yeah, I'll jump on board with Osso, and he'll probably be having a look back at him. He's still within DRS range.
So this could be a battle shape.
This is what I was saying about Austria. There's so many DRS zones. If you're not in a train, it promotes good battling.
Yeah. Even in a train, though, you've got battling from the front end to the back end. the guy at the end is going to have a super slipstream, and the guy at the front is going to be vulnerable to everyone. It can be quite nervy if you're the guy that's leading the train. You get 4 or 5 cars battling all at once. I'm surprised it's not as tight as we thought it would be. I mean, it was really tight in qualifying, but I don't know if it's pressure or if it hasn't come to go for a few people, has it? I mean, we're halfway through the race now, and it's definitely going to be a slow burner if anything's to happen. We're not seeing any clouds in the sky, so we've got to bank on it remaining dry. But we all know how quickly it can change in F1.
So Asso is just kind of falling behind a bit. I'm going to go down to Skull Reaper, who's on the back of Teddy Henke, who's on the back of Barkmandu. So we've a bit of a three-way going here again. Well, actually right on board with Teddy because you Bark on front and Skull Reaper behind. So we should catch a good view of everyone.
Barkmandu under threat from Teddy Henke. Is within half a second, so this could be a battle that we're seeing shape up. You say you're riding on board with Barkmandu?
Yeah, I'm on board with Teddy Henke and Skull Reaper, just falling outside of the DRS zone or time, so he's falling back again. So yeah, it's Teddy Henke having a look at Barkmandu lap 19, so just over halfway.
Around this track it's weird because when you can see a battle happening from close behind but you're not quite close enough to get involved, I don't know, it's like you want to get involved, you want to have the pace to catch up and get involved in it because it does look like a lot of fun when you're battling on this track.
Just point out that
that was untidy.
Yeah. Guitar Mania has closed the gap to Paranoid from 7 seconds to under 4 in the last 3 laps. So
maybe a bit of tyre saving will go in on early in the race for Guitar Maniac. But it just looks like Paranoid is so far away, even though it's only. Oh wait, are you seeing a couple of clouds forming? It's definitely getting cloudy.
It's getting darker. It absolutely is. I don't. It could be another bit away. Could we get rain by the end of the session? Not sure. It's definitely got darker, hasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely has. This is what I was saying. It can change, pretty much instantly. You'd rather get rain earlier on, so that you're not having to gamble on it not getting heavier for the final few laps. If it comes in the final 5 laps, then it's going to get really exciting.
Absolutely, you're going to have to. As we saw at Russia last week in real life, you're not going to get away with it.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking, I think, for every F1 fan universally. Me personally, I saw Lando Norris going off and I couldn't watch any more of it. I was just deflated, and it's real emotions, and we could be seeing some of that here today with the clouds that are forming. It's definitely looking moody.
That's King of the Hills into the pits, lap 19. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. Doesn't seem to be anything going on there.
Yeah, CDR injuries fallen right off the back of game 4 now. It's Sam Madsen's capturing mechanical.
Yeah, I'll jump on with Sam and we'll have a look at that.
See what these guys can do. He just seems to be gaining on him everywhere. Mechanical has got a lot more ERS though.
It's surprising because Mechanical is on 4-lap old softs, Sam Madsen is on 7-lap old medium, so Mechanical has the faster tyre here.
He's got a lot more ERS saved up than Sam Madsen, so that's going to play a part.
Yes, I wonder, do guys realise that once you go under 20%, you lose performance?
Yeah, you're relying on a safety car to refill it. We could see one of those at some point. You get the feeling that it's like there's a fuse that's burning, or is it a fuse that links up to the TNT? For some reason I can't. Either way, you get the idea that there's gunpowder that's burning away, and sooner or later it's going to explode. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling looking at the race.
You still have that midfield battle of Teddy Henke, Barkmandu, King of the Hills going on, but I'm going to stay with Sam Madsen a while and see, can he do anything. Can I just point out as well that Guitar Maniac now has it down to 1.6 seconds?
Yeah, I'm going to keep riding on board with Guitar Maniac.
That's
updated on that.
That's 5 seconds in as many laps.
Paranoid has used a lot more DRS as well. Oh, we're getting a few drops of rain by the looks of stuff on the camera. We are. It's raining.
Oh yeah, that's who's gonna. Yeah, here it comes. So as far as I'm concerned, Paranoid Guitar Maniac have made the right decision to try and do the one-stopper and stay out in front as long as possible. Stay out on the mediums.
Yeah, without a doubt.
The question is,
they're still leading as well, aren't they? They're still leading, so the gamble's paid off either way.
Do they pit now, or do they wait for the next lap? To me, it's looking like it's coming down. I think now is the time.
It's got to be too early. They still seem to be getting quite a good bit of grip.
Yeah.
But the battle between the top two, it's happening either way. So we've got Guitar Maniac still gaining on Paranoid, but we've got Paranoid in DRS range of Ninja that is being laps.
Yeah, I'm actually going to stick on with Guitar Maniac. I know he's not close enough to battle, but it's going to be interesting to see who comes in first.
We've got a few people pitting for intermediates. We've got Warrior Huntsman pitting for inters.
That's what I'm saying. They may get the jump if they've come in. Ooh, Guitar having a bit of a slip there. I'd expect everyone to come in now.
I personally, I don't think it's ready for inters yet. The guys that I've seen that are on inters don't seem to be handling that well on them. I reckon maybe another lap, 2 laps, and it will be inters. But the guys that are on it so far, they're not.
Yeah,
they're struggling.
The big thing now is you have Guitar now is within DRS range of Paranoid. They're on 23 lap all mediums. They're going to be absolutely dead.
Look at Warrior Huntsman. He's on the back of 2 cars that are on dry tyres and he's on inters. So this is going to be how we can gauge where we're at with the weather conditions at the minute to see how he's doing, and he's just losing time.
He's dropping off.
Yeah, he made the wrong call, sadly, and same with getting full odds as well. He made a bad call to go on inters. It happens, but we're seeing a couple of cars now that are pitting, which is inexplicable.
Richie getting a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That's
oh wow.
You know what? You could very well see a safety car here on the crossover.
Yeah, definitely. It's all happening. We've got a phantom yellow flag in sector 3.
I'm wondering, are they going to come in now because Guitar is falling? Doesn't look like it. No, they're staying out.
More and more people are pitting for the inters, like Batman do. He should have really stayed out because he had a good gauge. He had Warrior Huntsman behind him, and Warrior was just losing time. Definitely, I don't think it's time for inters at the minute.
Warriors after losing 5 seconds to the car ahead, so yeah, it's definitely not into time.
So the top 2 have definitely made the right call. The top 3.
Jump over King of the Hills now, who's on the back of Teddy Henke with fresh softs. Teddy Henke not pitting yet, I don't think. He has pitted, but he's on 19 lap all hard, so King of the Hills will have a right look at him here, I would think. And Teddy, yeah, he has stayed out. Another guy into the pits, not exactly sure who that is. That could be mechanical. No,
Teabag's pitted. Yeah, so see what size he goes on. He's going onto the inters as well. I just had to check just in case it was going onto another dry tyre. But Paranoid and Guitar Maniac on 24 laps.
Yeah.
Medium, that's stretching even for the mediums. That's
with
impressive.
Rain. Oh, bit of a lock up there from King of the Hills, who has actually taken Teddy Henke here. And he'll get DRS as well. So, yeah, Teddy fighting back.
I think
King of the Hills has 73% DRS. That is management, that is.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's playing the long game. He's really well placed to get a decent result. I believe this lap probably will be the lap for inters now. You're seeing puddles starting to form on the track, and it's looking very treacherous, and more and more guys are coming in. So Jeff must be in where he is, saying, yeah, we think it's inters time. Even the top 2 are struggling big time, and the gap just seems to be getting tighter and more. Paranoid spun. Paranoid got some wheel spin. He's lost the lead. Oh, that's a shame for Paranoid. Definitely time for inters now, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you'd imagine they start coming in.
Safety car. So the top 2 have made the right call. Huntsman gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. That's surely got to be a glitch.
You'd imagine though with the safety car that you're going to see everybody coming in.
Yeah, definitely. It's a free pit stop and it's the right tyre to be on as it is now.
Teabag. This could play right into Teabag's hands. And this is what I was saying with the safety car. The top 6 have to pit.
Yeah.
And the next 6 or 7 are on the inters already. So you could see a bit of a change. I'm going to see his guitar coming in.
Yep, they're both coming into the pits.
If they're close enough, that is the question. I think they could be too far back.
Yeah, there's too big of a spread. Cause
Huntsman is gone.
Yeah, he's DNF'd. Oh, did you catch it?
I didn't, but I will jump on with Bachman Do, who's just coming onto it there now. It looks to be turn 1.
Very hard luck for him. That's a shame.
Huntsman has just had no luck. Raw pace, he's I would say the quickest, maybe if top
definitely.
3, but he's just had a lot of bad luck.
You need to have more than pace on this game.
Yeah, he binned it in turn 1 on the right hand side, which it looked to be in a bit of a strange place. But yeah,
he might have just got too far onto the curve.
Sam Madsen is in the wall now on the mediums. Did he come in yet? No, he didn't. He is going to come in though.
So this safety car, it's a godsend for the people that stayed out. So the top 3, the top 4 even, maybe even the top 5, it's all stayed the same.
Well, look, at least it makes it interesting for us. We've 10 laps now of close racing in the wet.
Yeah.
And the
wet, so no DRS to help out.
The thing is as well, if it gets any wetter, do we end up being on the crossover again before the end of the race?
Yeah.
You're probably not going to pit if it does happen, but it is a possibility.
It felt like one of those races where it was just building up to something, and we could be seeing the build up now, the crescendo. So now we've just got to keep it calm. You don't want to be picking penalties up under the safety car, you just want to keep it smooth. Nothing too fancy. Yeah, we've just got Richie, who for some reason hasn't pitted, he's 4 laps down. So, not the race that Richie was hoping for, and he's glitching for me on Richie when I ride on board with him. It's like his left tyres somewhere.
Oh, we have King of the Hills has binned somewhere, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He's not binned, but he has span. He's only lost 1 position. I suppose you got guys here now trying to squeeze up as well. You got when you look again for 45 seconds back, they're going to try and get close enough for the restart.
Yeah, they might not make it as well. They might not have time to make it. We've really got to be pushing.
I'm looking.
Red Bull in the pits.
Safety car could be in this lap.
Is it a Red Bull in the pits or the Williams? Richie, yeah, Richie's in the pits. Just ride on board with Richie. For me, like front left of his car, it's not there like the tyre and stuff. It's
he's in the pits now for a new wing and inters, so he's coming back.
Yeah.
Up. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna ride on board Reggie for the restart and see what happens.
So you'd imagine it's this lap that the safety car's coming in.
You would think so. The cars behind they're just coming through turn 1. They should get there. Richie, I don't think will get there unless it stays up for another lap, but you would imagine it will come now. Sam Mazda with a track limit warning on the safety car. It's always frustrating.
So for penalties, we've got Reggie Star on 3, Richie D on 3, Osso on 6, Teabag on 3, King of the Hills on 3, Mechanical on 3, Sam Madsen on 9, Game Floods on 6, Kane Lowry on 3, and Ninja on 3. So Kane Lowry and Ninja, they only need to stay within 3 seconds of game full, and they'll pass him at the end of the race.
And that's the other thing, if Teddy Henke and Barkman can keep it close without going for another lap.
And Mechanical made contact with someone. Oh, he's pitting, so he must have damage. So big shame for Mechanical.
Yeah, so you look at Teddy Henke now running in P7. If he can stay within 3 seconds of Reggie, he's on for a podium.
Yeah, it's all to play for. And we saw this in Tier 1 as well. The leader had 18 seconds worth of penalties. I mean, I personally had 3. So you've only got to stay within 15 seconds of a leader and you're jumping up a position, and that's what it comes down to. The winner in Tier 1 was the guy with no penalties.
Absolutely. I did
well deserved.
I did 3 practice races in GP mode, and yeah, alright, look, I wasn't concentrating overly too much, but I did rack up a lot of penalties. So I was quite surprised that I finished the other night with no penalties.
You sort of focus more, don't you, when you know that it's going to be harder.
Absolutely. And I was thinking, if people pick up penalties, you have that opportunity to gain positions. So
yeah, safety car in this lap.
So I will stay on with Reggie and possibly jump to Paranoid. So let's Guitar Maniac is an experienced driver. He knows how to do a safety car restart.
It's no gimme when it's wet conditions. You can never quite predict how much wheel spin you're going to get. So we could see a couple of upsets here. Could see a few cars spinning trying to keep up. This is going to be very tasty. For some reason it's saying game full odds is 1 minute 46 seconds behind, so it doesn't make sense.
And Guitar is gone. That was a lovely restart. Very nice restart.
Yeah, the car seems to be sort of evenly spaced out. Richard E got caught napping a little bit. 1.1 seconds back coming through turn 1. We reiterate, if it's not clear enough for it,
there's an effort on Mayo making a move up the inside. And he gets away with it. Yeah, the pits again.
The Aston Martin seems to be permanently ghosted. Teddy Henke.
Gainful is currently inside in the car in front of him. Oh, we just lost Asso Basso. Oh.
It's unlucky for Osso. He's still in the race by the looks of stuff, but it doesn't look like he's got terminal damage, but
Ninja and Gainful going out of here, but Gainful's car looks ghosted for some reason.
Yeah, it does for me, and so does Ninja's. It's because they've got someone behind them. We've got an Alpha Tauri, so surely got to be Teabag. Yeah, we've got Teabag behind them, so they didn't lap themselves. So now they're still getting lapped by the cars that are on the.
Okay. Yeah. Closest back at the moment is Paranoid on Guitar Maniac for P1. So I'm going to jump on there at the moment. Unfortunate for Asso Basso. He looks to be still going around, but he's losing a lot of time, so I would suspect he needs a wing.
Yeah, you sort of get the feeling at this point in the race that the damage to his race is pretty much terminal. There's not many laps left to do something special.
Tell you what, Paranoid really closing in on Guitar Maniac here. And we haven't seen too many wet races, so we don't know who's, I mean, not say better, but you know, who's more confident in the rain, who can push the car to the limit.
Yeah, definitely, and I know what you mean. The thing is, if Paranoid gets past Guitar Maniac, he's then got to pull 3 seconds out on him in 5 laps.
So it's unnecessary to risk that, to be honest.
Yeah,
if he where he is, he's probably just better off sitting where he is and pick. Richie D is gone. That's turn 1, and I have no car coming around, so I won't catch it. But yeah, that could be a safety car again. I'm going to jump on with Mechanical, who's coming up to turn 1 now, so I'll see what happened.
The thing is, if another safety car comes out now, you sort of get the feeling that the race would be pretty much over.
No, his car is gone, so
no safety car.
No, that won't be a safety car, no.
If I were Guitar Maniac, I'd just take it steady, not take any risks. Even if Paranoid gets past you, all you've got to do is stick with him, and you've won a race.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, you currently have Henke looking for P3 with penalties. If he can just stay where he is.
Yeah. Well, no, in fact, because Teabag is 5 seconds behind Reggie.
Yeah.
So, but he would get P4. Oh, Ninja spun again on turn 1 or turn 2 rather. No, turn 3. I got it 3rd time. Look at turn 3.
Sam Madsen having a look at Teddy Henke now.
Again, it's inconsequential because he's got 9 seconds worth of penalties. His real battle is keeping ahead of Mechanical, and with the split that's happening now, I can't work it out. The cars are close together, but far away at the same time. Based on
yeah.
penalties. It's
No unnecessary risks
whether...
at this stage, I would suggest, when we literally have 2 of the remaining drivers still in the session, only on... But this is what I'm saying. Look at Richie. Credit to Richie. He's 5 laps down. 13 seconds penalties. But he's going to keep going. And if he gets to the end and no one has DNFs, he's going to get P14. He'll get 2 points.
Yeah, you just need to keep putting the laps in, and it'll classify your P14. Still points at the end of the day. It's still, even if it's only minor points, a point's a point. You'd rather get points than no points.
Absolutely, yeah. So Guitar has 100% DRS.
Yeah.
Paranoid has rinsed his, more or less trying to get there. He's still within half a second, but even at with the 3 seconds, it's probably not worth a risk.
The thing is, when you activate ERS in wet weather, you're taking a risk every time because it gives you more torque, more power to your rear wheels. So it's probably worth not using it. You let the car use the ERS that it would use anyway. But
I tend to use it maybe on the straights, even if I do, but I'd be well straight before I start. Yeah,
so we see Guitar Maniac, he is using it on the straights, and to his credit, he's pulling away from Paranoid.
Yeah, we're probably at that time where we need to discuss driver of the day.
Driver of the day. So we've had a few drivers that have shone. We've had a few drivers that, you know, you expected more from him. Teddy Henke's made up 11 positions. He's had a bit of a race at 2 halves, but I think he's made it happen this race. But you've got Teabag, who he's made 8 positions up. You've had King of the Hills made 9 positions up. So personally, I'd say Teddy Henke. Ross has just had a race. He's just got his head down, got on with it, made progress, and got no penalties either.
I think Teabag deserves this. Go back to when. No, this is a discussion, obviously. Go back to when Teabag joined. He couldn't keep it on the track. Literally couldn't. And that was this season. 8 races in, he's now P4, up 8 positions.
Yeah, so it's definitely on an upward trend, isn't it?
For me, it's. I think that's a solid race. Starting P12. I understand where you're coming from with Teddy. I know what you're saying with Teddy, but we haven't, like, Teddy came down from tier 2, so you would expect him to have a bit of pace. Not that Teabag doesn't have pace. Just all things considered, for me it's Teabag for driver of the day.
Yeah. Oh, Guitar Maniac DNF. He's lost it.
Whoa!
Oh no.
Turn 1. I'm going to get out with King of the Hills and see what happens here.
Turn 3, he lost it out.
Yeah, he lost it. Oh man, that was a win in the bag. That's very unfortunate. Second last lap. Yeah. Oh man, that's
heartbreak. My heart breaks for him. That's a tragedy. Commiserations, Guitar Maniac. You did everything right, and that was probably the first mistake you've made all race.
And I might be wrong, but I think did King of the Hills make a move there as well? No, he didn't. You got King of the Hills now 11 positions up into P3 as well.
Yeah. So he's sort of, his race has come alive in this final phase.
Yeah.
It's going to be tricky. I mean, you do make a good argument for Teabag for driver of the day, but I think a few people deserve it. It's
Teddy dropping down there now as well. Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. I just want to see the penalties there now.
I would say Teabag, based on the journey he's made, like where he's come from to where he's got to now, I do think he's driven a pretty mature race, and you know it means better things for him as he carries on racing for us. So yeah, I think I'd go with Teabag as well, personally. Yeah,
it's kind of a special mention to King of the Hills as well, up 11 positions to take P3, yeah. But I think this one's on Teabag, personally.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, the top 4 aren't going to change position. Sam Mazden as well, who's had a bit of bad luck in P5 and is going to stay in P5. That's a good race from Sam.
Yeah, he damage control. He went out in Q2, so he qualified 15th through no fault of his own, and yeah, he just salvaged what he could, and I think that's a good salvage personally. He's going to lose a couple of positions based on penalties, I believe. In fact, no, he's not. No, he's going to stay where he is, and that is the race. Paranoid's the winner. Reggie Starr's second, King of the Hills in a pretty incredible third, and Teabag in fourth place, Sam Madsen in fifth. And yeah, I think we're pretty much seeing the final race result now. That was an interesting one.
Ooh, it was Teddy Henke has no wing and has just been pipped by Mechanical, who's up into P7. So Teddy had an issue. They both have 3 seconds of penalties, so Mechanical will take P7.
Action right until the end. This has been crazy. We hope that you've enjoyed the commentary in the race as much as we've enjoyed commentating. It's been pretty interesting. We've learnt a lot from this race, and the racing didn't disappoint either. Yeah,
it was good. Like, outside the turn 1, it was a good, solid, clean race. Sam Maz is getting driver of the day by the game, incidentally, and I did mention him at the end. But yeah, look, I think Teabag driver of the day. That's I think he deserves it.
I'm happy to agree with you. I think we saw a lot of fortunes changing through that race. We saw some people get a bit of good luck. We saw a few people get some really bad luck. But it's F1. It happens. We bounce back. That was pretty good with that. Very entertaining.
Yeah, unfortunate for Mechanical. That's heartbreak. That is 2 laps to go. Bennett. It is.
Guitar Maniac, you mean?
Especially when you reel in Paranoid so quick.
Yeah.
So final race result, you have Paranoid taking the win, followed by Reggie Starr in P2 for a podium, King of the Hills in P3 for a podium, followed by Teabag P4, Sam Madsen P5, Barkmandu P6, Mechanical P7, Teddy Henke P8, Asabasso P9, Gainful Odds P10, Kane Lowry P11, Dan James P12, Guitar Maniac actually doesn't say he DNF'd, it just says he finished 2 laps down.
So he still got classified, but
yeah, he didn't DNF, he just binned it. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That is a shame.
Yeah, is what it is. Yeah, so I think that's the end of it for Tier 3 on our Sunday evening. Just want to say it was an absolute pleasure to do comms with you. Very enjoyable first time.
Yeah, it was really fun. I bounced off each other quite well. I enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed it, whoever's watching as well. I don't know how many people we had watching us, but
I think we'd 170,000 at one stage. Or 7, I'm not sure. Alright, so thanks guys for tuning in, we'll see you again.